This is a quick tutorial on Google Forms. So the first thing you need to do is log into your Google account. Everybody in the district has what's called an apps.district833.org account, so I would log into that. So here we go. So the first thing you want to do is go to Create, click on Create, go to Form, click on Form, and by default you are given a title and 2 sample questions. So by default it automatically does that. You have the option with the apps account to turn off the require sign-in, which I would do if you're sending it out to parents. If you're just using a regular Gmail account, this would not show up, but because it's a little bit more secure with apps accounts through Sawashko, that's an option. So the first thing I would do is change the title. So sample Google Docs form, and this is going to be for summer school. And now you've got directions. You can add whatever you want, so you can do a welcome, and then please fill out the form for your child for summer school. So you can give any directions that you want. The nice thing is, in this box, it knows or understands HTML language. So if you know any basics of HTML, it's actually quite handy. So now when you look at the actual Google form, which we are not looking at, you can look at it here just by clicking this button. This will be bold-faced in the Google Forms. So we've got the title, we've got the welcome. The first thing I would do is make sure that they have a name listed, name. Some people forget to put their last name or first name, so I would just make sure first and last. And I would always make it required. The only time I would not is if it's truly an optional question. If it's at the end of the survey and you say fill out a question or comment, you can leave that optional, but I would make everything else required. That means they cannot submit the form until all of those questions are filled out. So the second thing I would do is do an email address. That way you have their email address, and I would just give them an example here. Joe@gmail.com, something like that. Again, I would make that required. Now, if you want more questions, so if you want to know their school, their home address, their daycare address, any of those other required pieces that you would like them to know, and that would be easier on the site supervisors for coordinating or bus routes or anything like that, you can go up here and add questions. You can create a text, which is what we did down here. You can add paragraph text, which just gives a little larger box for them to fill out. So maybe I would do that if you had questions or comments, a question on comments or questions. Multiple choice, which is just that. Check boxes, which allows them to choose more than one box. Choose from a list, which is basically the same as multiple choice, but it's a drop-down menu rather than seeing all of the choices. A scale or a grid. So that is the basics of creating the Google form. Now let's take a look. So I'm going to actually click Save. So now it's saving the Google form. So this is just the creation of the Google Forms. I can also actually go to the themes if you want to send it out. You have different themes, pretty basic. So you get to choose whatever theme you want. So let's just choose nonprofit. Okay, and it's already saved. See how quick Google is. Now if I want to look at that form, what it would look like as a parent, I'm going to right click, open in a new tab, and there is the Google form. So there it is, sample Google Forms. There's the title. Here would be the welcome and all the questions, and then they would have to submit. So I'm just going to say Joe Schmo, and it is Joe at gmail.com. And I'm going to submit that. So now it's submitted. So now we want to look at what would this look like as a spreadsheet. So here's the sample Google Docs form, so I just click in there, and there it is. So there is the name, address, and then the questions. If you were to fill out more questions, would be right here. And so it's nice and easy. You don't have to create the spreadsheet. It is created for you. Now if you wanted to edit the Google form, you would go to Form, Edit, and there it is. So if you wanted to add, let's say, questions or comments, there you would have it. And I would click Save again. And when I go back to the Google form, there it is, already in there, changed. So it's nice and easy, quick to do, and you get to look at the, where did I put it? You get to look at the data. So I can go to the spreadsheet, and there it is. So there's that new comments, questions box. Nice and easy, and then you can click share. So I'm actually going to do that. So let's say I wanted to share it with Elizabeth Catterall. There she is. I click Elizabeth Catterall. I click share and save, which I'm not going to do right now. And she would have the opportunity to see and change any of that information. So a site supervisor, if it was shared with a site supervisor, the supervisor would be able to see the documents, change any of the documents, all of that. You can also put limits on it if you want them just to see it and not edit it. That is an option as well. Hope you learned from this, and thanks for watching.